He is a three-time Cy Young Award winner for pitching, best pitcher, and now he's become, as you know, a sex symbol. And many females out there have come to know Jim not only for his pitching, but also for the fact that he's a stunning model for Jockey International male underwear. And it is a delight to have Jim Palmer with us. How are you, Jim?
Fine, thank you.
I was really wondering all night whether you would come in a suit or whether you would come in as we see you on the ads.
No, I think the weather's turned, so I came dressed.
That did it, huh? Darn it. How do you like being a sex symbol?
I don't perceive myself as one. I mean, I honestly say that. I get that question just about everywhere I go.
But how can you not honestly perceive yourself?
Well, because I think I have two different lives. I mean, I have the one I live at home, which basically, I'm not married anymore, but I do have two daughters. I have one that's going to be 18 on Friday, Jamie, and in fact, as I was saying, she's looking at colleges and looks like she's probably going to come up here somewhere. And I have another daughter, Kelly, is 15, so I just kind of gravitated into this job. I was one of 9 players that worked for Jockey back in the middle of the 70s, 76, 77, and I did some of the sales meetings and things like that. And they decided that they wanted to go to a singular spokesperson, and I was the guy they chose. So I think I look at those ads, and I look at them very impersonally, because it's really, I mean, there's no personality. It's very flattering to have somebody say you look nice, but I think the things that count are the people that you know, the friends that you have. And so I look at them a little bit differently than I think other people do.
When you first did this, were you married then?
Yes. Maybe that's why I'm not married now.
What was the reaction? What was your wife's reaction? Did you even know that it would take off and become such a...
No, I don't believe Jockey knew that. I don't believe that, that I had any inkling. And there's a lot different being one of 9 guys on a page, because they had the original concept was to have 9 guys like Pete Rose and Steve Garvey, some well-known ball players, along with some football players, Tony Dorsett and people, and they would take away their uniforms and what he had, and they have different kinds of jockey underwear on and T-shirts and things like that. When you're one of 9, you're pretty anonymous, but when you're the only person on the page, it changes the character of the ad. And I think Jockey was very surprised. I think really what's made it successful is they got somebody that was a very public person, and being a baseball player that I was, and also had a very successful campaign. They spent a lot of money. I mean, I always say, people say, do you feel a little bit bad about the fact you're probably better known for doing underwear than winning 268 games? And I said, makes sense. They spent millions of dollars really publicizing not only the underwear, but me along with it. So,
how do men react to this?
Well, it's funny. A lot of men, I mean, I think are very complimentary. I mean, I don't really have that kind of a physique where I'm a muscle builder or anything like that. I mean, I just I take pride in my body, because mainly I was a ball player and I wanted to play as long as I could. But most men say, I mean, I had somebody come up on the plane this morning and said, "You're making it difficult for me. My wife wants me to look like you." And of course, I'm writing an exercise book, so once they buy the book, they probably
I'm
can.
thinking about a spin-off, the possibility.
I really don't think I'm going to play anymore. I had this theory that I would feel more comfortable at the end of my career if I had a lot of alternatives, and I never really dreamed that I would have as many alternatives as it really turned out to be. I worked for ABC, or I did work for them last year. I'm talking to them about extending. I had a 4-year contract that kind of ran out, so I'm talking to them about extending that for another couple of years. I'm doing a public broadcasting series called Sporting Life. It'll be out in April, which will be available at all PBS stations around the country. I did a pilot for a show that's going to be kind of like an Entertainment Tonight show. Whether I'll do that show is another thing. I've had offers to do TV movies and things like that. I don't really know if I can act, but I feel very comfortable right now working for Jockey, doing the ABC, being home with my kids, which is very important. It's funny, when you're a ball player and you have a long career like I did, you end up being where you don't want to be a lot of the time. I mean, I enjoyed the pitching every 4th and 5th day, but you don't enjoy sometimes being in Cleveland when you want to be home on your daughter's birthday. What's nice about this is that finally, after 18 or 19 or really 20 years of being a ball player, I have a choice to some degree of what I want to do.
Isn't that nice? You're really, you're lucky, you're fortunate. I mean, I know it's hard work.
Well, I tried to plan for it, and I mean, I was very lucky in my baseball career, and I've been very lucky in this. I'm still a novice at doing broadcasting and acting. It's nice to have people ask you if you want to go act and whatever, but I don't really know if I can. So I think what made baseball so comfortable is that I did it since I was in Little League.
You know, a lot of athletes abuse themselves, and we know that. And not as well as abusing themselves, perhaps not taking care of themselves, they also forget that the day they stop playing, they can be yesterday's headlines. And a lot of them don't plan, perhaps, as well as you did.
Well, See, I think I had an advantage. I started when guys were making, I mean, my first year I made $7,000, and that was the minimum salary.
Wow.
And I saw a lot of great players finish their careers and really not have anything to do because the money was not that good. Now, if you get a 5-year contract at today's salaries, you really don't have to think about what you're going to do after you play.
Sure don't.
Other than for maybe personal reasons of feeling good and whatever. So
I can't believe I'm going to do this, and I don't think anybody really knows in the control room that I am. But these are the panties that Jim will be signing at Jordan Marsh.
well, I don't know if it's exactly those panties. In fact, it kind of blends with your dress. Very nice dress. you
I
have
want
on.
to tell you something. I can't believe I'm doing this, but would you please, would you mind, Jim?
Oh, signing this?
Got a pen. Would you? All right. He's really doing it.
Did I spell my last name
Jim
right?
Palmer, he did it. You think you'd ever get married again?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I bet you've got him waiting in line.
No, not, that's really, I think that's something that people, it's interesting. I have very good friends here. My first roommate lives up in Beverly, Davey and Doris Leonard, his wife, and they, I think, would vouch that I intimidate women for some reason.
Really?
I suppose people, they say, well, he does underwear as he does that, but I'm a pretty normal guy, or at least I like to think that.
That's good to know, and thank you for signing these panties for me, Jim.
You're welcome.
Steve's over there in the corner. Maybe we can get you to take your mic off. We've got some kids that are dying to meet you. And
Better than my clothes. Well, hi, guys.
Okay, Jim, I'd like to introduce you to the team. Here we have Mike and Steve, right?
No, that's Steve.
That's Steve and that's Bill. Okay.
I remember Steve because he has an Oriole hat.
Aha. All right, well, they're going to pitch to me, and you're going to give them a little instruction. I
Okay,
guess.
be glad to.
All right, guys, you want to line up over there? All right. I haven't done this in a while myself, Jane.
I think I'm getting out of here. It's a dangerous place to be.
Okay, Billy, let's see your windup. Not too hard. There we go.
Hey.
Now, I think the important thing, just go ahead and keep throwing. The important thing, and one of the better doctors in sports medicine is right here in Boston, Dr. Pappas, who happens to also be one of the owners of the Red Sox. When you throw a baseball, you're using your arm, and the arm is like any other muscle in your body. You have to take care of it. The important thing for young kids is not really, Billy, to throw the ball as hard as you can, but to concentrate on Steve's glove, have a nice fluid windup, and you can really wind up so many different ways. If you watch Major League Baseball, not everybody winds up the same way. Steve here is left-handed. Why don't we have you throw a couple? And Billy, you're doing fine. Just the one thing you want to do is when you, maybe you can throw me the ball. The way I teach kids to pick up a ball is just put it on the ground, pick it up, and throw it naturally. You don't want to change your windup. You don't want to throw sidearm or three-quarters like Dennis Eckersley. So anyway, pick up the ball. Here, Steve, why don't you throw the ball you have? Go ahead, right? Not too hard.
Have it in there, ho!
And the important thing is that when you start throwing, and you're young or you're old, you don't want to pick up the ball and throw as hard as you can. You want to exercise your arm. You want to play at least 10 or 15 minutes of catch every day. And what it'll do, it'll strengthen your arm. But the one thing you want to concentrate on is throw the ball right at Steve's glove. He's going to give you a nice target there. Okay?
All right.
How about you, Michael? Throw a couple.
Here you go, Mike.
Where'd you learn how to do this, Steve?
On the set.
A lot of spare time, right?
Yes. Coming up next, we have Rocky and Bullwinkle. I don't know how many of you remember them, but I sure do. We'll see you in a second.